In this video, we're going to talk about the copy command, the Pathfinder filters, the very powerful filters, and the transparency palette. So what I have here is this one shape, this square, which I drew with the rectangle shape tool just by holding down my shift key to get a perfect square. And I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to duplicate it, to make a copy or several copies. So what you would need to do is hold down your Option key, and your arrow, your black arrow tool will turn into this double-headed arrow like this, or your Alt key on your PC, and just click and drag, and it'll give me another one. Command Z, get rid of it. Now if I hold down my Option key, click, and then hold down my Shift key, I can now drag it holding the same baseline or at a 45-degree angle or at a perfect vertical below it, exactly below it. So if I want to make sure my angles are perfect, I would always hold down my Shift key in conjunction with my Option key or my Alt key. Command Z, let me show that to you again. So all I do is hold down my Option key, click, hold down my Shift key, and drag. Now after you do this once, you don't have to repeat the same thing. You can do what is called a transform again, and that is available to you under transform again right here under object. Really easy shortcut, Command D, Control D on a PC. So I'm going to go ahead and do a Command D. And I can keep doing that. I can keep giving myself several of them. In fact, once I've done this, I can go ahead and select all of these, go ahead and hold down my Option or my Alt, click and hold down my Shift key, and I can replicate all of them. Now when I do a Command D, super simple, right? So that's your copy command. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of all of these. And fit all in Windows so we get a better view. There you go. The next one is the Pathfinder filters, and actually I have this little rectangle right here. I'm just going to go ahead and use this as an example. And first of all, I want to go under Window and pull up my Pathfinder palette. Keep it over here. This is a super powerful palette for combining shapes. It tells you, it unites them, it subtracts from, and this kind of divides it up. These are your most useful ones. So as an example, I'm just going to go ahead and also draw an oval. This is somewhat familiar from architectural drawings, right? Maybe make this a separate color. So what's going to happen is the dominant color is going to... Now I can certainly try and create this shape with the pen tool. It's going to be a whole lot harder, way more time consuming. And then I can try and refine it and clean it up. You don't need to do all that, too much work. What you want to do is select both of these, go under Shape Modes, and click Unite. Voila, it's now one shape. You don't have to worry about if I wanted to fill this with, let me bring up my swatches palette. Bring it closer. So now it is one shape, right? You can also get rid of this. I'm going to draw what is approximately a culvert in architectural drawings. Or part of a bridge, if you will. So I want to achieve this. I really need to take the circle shape out of this, right? Again, you can do it with the pen tool. It would take you much longer. So we're just going to select both these shapes and go ahead and select that second one in the Pathfinder's palette, the minus front. It's gone. It's just one shape. I just undid that. So we have our circle. Just wanted to show you what dividing these would mean. So if I select the circle and that rectangle again and select this one right here, which is divide, it now separates these out for me individually. Well, I first need to go to Object and Ungroup. And expand. Sometimes you need to do that a couple of times for it to work. And this is so we have that culvert, we have this circle that came in here. We've got another shape, we've got the lower half of this circle. They're all individual separate shapes. So you can see where this would be useful in quickly creating different graphics. Now you can also work with how two shapes interact. You would use the transparency tool for doing that. Go under Window and go to the transparency tool, pick that up. And right now the opacity is set at 100%. Go ahead and come to the slider and start playing with it, and you'll see the difference in how the pixels interact. You can do even more with this. You can start looking at these filters, which are very powerful. Right here, just kind of experiment and see what happens. So depending on the filter you choose, the pixels are going to change how they interact with one another. So there's a lot of effects you can achieve with this right here. So there you have it. That's your transparency filter, your Pathfinder filters, and your quick and copy command.